Hey guys, welcome to The Strong Young Man. If 2.4 million years of human evolution were compressed into the 24 hours of a clock, we've been eating meat for 24 hours, we've been eating wheat for 6 minutes, and we've been eating processed foods for about 4 seconds. Gram for gram, meat is the most nutrient-dense food, which we've evolved to thrive on over the last 2.4 million years. Through the controlled use of fire about 2 million years ago, humans were able to cook their meat, which resulted in an increased nutrient uptake. This increase in energy uptake allowed our ancestors to partition more energy towards growing a larger brain. Despite consuming meat and other animal products for the entire duration of our existence, many imbeciles are now opting out from consumption of animal products in favour of a vegan diet. Some do so for religious reasons. Other peculiar individuals say that they don't like the taste. And then there are those that just desire to excessively evangelise the nobility of avoiding animal products and to revel in that moral superiority. The latter people are actually morally reprehensible, as one cow death is enough to feed my body with all the nutrition it needs for an entire year. On the other hand, according to Matthew Evans in his book On Eating Meat, around 40,000 ducks are killed to protect rice production in Australia and 1 billion mice are poisoned to protect wheat in Australia. Overall, at least 55 sentient animals die to produce 100 kilos of usable plant protein, which is 25 times more than for the same amount of rangelands beef. Vegan food causes most of its death toll through the following 5 means. 1. The soil tilling process, including chemical fertilisation, destroys all manner of small animals such as earthworms. 2. Farmers spray fields with pesticides which deliberately kills off approximately 75% of the world's insects. 3. Farmers shoot pests that threaten their crop yield. 4. Many more animals such as rodents are killed during the crop harvesting process. And 5. Vegan alternatives are often more murderous than their carnivorous replicas. For example, in the USA alone, 50 billion bees were killed to produce almond milk between December 2018 and February 2019. Understand that you yourself are an animal too, and if you really care about animals, then you would realise that you need to take care of yourself by feeding your body with the most nutritious food on the planet, meat. Quite frankly, what you choose to put in your mouth is your personal choice. I don't have an issue with people choosing to be vegan, as long as they are aware of the total and utter destruction that veganism has to human health. If you want to be a vegan and poison yourself with chemicals, reduce brain function, develop nutritional deficiencies, lose muscle mass and overall energy, then knock yourself out. But before you do, make sure you're aware of what you are doing to your body so you can make the most educated decision on the foods that you need to consume on your endeavours to becoming the strongest version of yourself. Here are the reasons why you must never become a vegan. Reason number 1. Meat is the best form of protein. Not all protein is created equal. An often misunderstood aspect of protein quality is its ability to be absorbed by the human body. Protein is made up of amino acids, which can only be absorbed by the body in the amounts the body can use. This is like building a car. To build a car, you need 4 wheels, 4 doors, 2 headlights, 1 engine, etc. If we had 100 wheels, 100 doors, 50 headlights, but only 1 engine, we would only be able to build 1 car, because we only have 1 engine. Protein is the same. The body can only build protein from the amino acids if it has the right amounts in the right quantities the body can use. This is known as the biological value of protein. Protein sources with the highest biological value include human flesh, not recommended, human breast milk, sometimes recommended, and perfectly balanced protein powders. These all have a perfect bioavailability score of 160. The next best protein sources are whole eggs at 100, cow's milk at 91, egg whites at 88. Note that some protein is found in the yolk, so you never throw out egg yolks. It reduces the protein consumed and a lesser percentage of the protein is absorbed by the body. Fish at 83, beef at 80, and chicken at 79. Note that all of these proteins are animal proteins. Most of the plant-based proteins have a biological value between 0 and 65, with only rice superseding this number at 74. Reason number 2, meat contains the best type of fat. Not only is meat protein the best form of protein, but meat fat is also the best form of fat, especially when the animal is fed their natural diet. Most animal protein is high in saturated fat, which is the most stable form of fat, and despite modern conjecture, it's actually the healthiest fat for humans to consume. Actually, the unhealthiest fat to consume is the refined polyunsaturated omega-6 fatty acids found in processed vegetable and seed oils. On the other hand, meat comes packaged with the healthy variety of the polyunsaturated fats, your omega-3 fatty acids. These are the fats essential to brain function, and the body can't synthesize enough of these from other pathways. The highest concentration of omega-3s found in nature is actually in human breast milk, but they are also found in abundance in free-range eggs, grass-fed beef, wild-caught fish, and other animal fats such as yak butter, raw milk, and ghee. Plants do contain omega-3 fatty acids, however, these fats exist in their precursor form, alpha-linolenic acid, and must be converted to the most common usable forms, eicosapentaenoic acid and docosahexaenoic acid. This process has a poor conversion rate, and most vegans have suboptimal levels of these essential fatty acids crucial for brain and heart health. Reason number 3. Meat contains an abundance of other micronutrients. As long as the meat that you consume is fed an evolutionary consistent diet, you will also consume a plethora of other micronutrients. Fat-soluble vitamins such as A, D, E, and K are present in large quantities in grass-fed meat. In addition to this, animals that are allowed to consume their preferred diet will also have sufficient levels of vitamin B and C to enable you to thrive. While the vitamin C in muscle meat is less than your citrus fruits, gram per gram, this vitamin is found in its most bioavailable form. It's actually absorbed at a much higher rate compared to an equal amount sourced from plant foods. In addition, the plant defense chemicals found in plant foods such as phytic acid and oxalates further hinders the body's ability to absorb nutrients. The same malabsorption is observed when comparing the bioavailability of zinc, magnesium, calcium, iron, and selenium. This is the biggest problem with consuming plant foods. Interestingly, health-promoting phytonutrients, the nutrients that we obtain from eating plant foods, are actually higher in grass-fed meat and raw milk. The health-promoting effects include anti-inflammatory, anti-carcinogenic, and cardioprotective effects. Reason number 4, vegan deficiencies. By becoming a vegan, you become nutritionally deficient. Veganism does not work in the long term. It won't cause too many health problems in the first 2 years, but the long-term health consequences are inevitable and they're catastrophic. Going vegan causes so many deficiencies that can result in a lot of health problems associated with malnutrition. Animal foods contain many compounds that are vital for optimal health and performance that do not occur in plants. Vitamin B12, creatine, carnitine, choline, carnosine, and taurine are only found in appreciable quantities in animal foods. Note that you cannot supplement with these nutrients to make up for the deficiencies. No vitamin, mineral, or other nutrient supplementation will be absorbed with the same efficacy as the real thing. If a particular diet requires some form of supplementation, then it is a nutritionally deficient diet. An all-meat or carnivore diet is the only diet which allows humans to live exclusively off one food without developing deficiencies. On the other hand, the moment we transitioned away from our hunter-gatherer lifestyle into agriculture, human health deteriorated. Skeletons from Greece and Turkey reveal that about 12,000 years ago, the average height of hunter-gatherers was 5 feet 9 inches for men and 5 feet 5 inches for women. With the adoption of agriculture, adult height plummeted. By 3000 BC, men of this region of the world stood only 5 feet 3 inches tall and women dropped to 5 feet tall, reflecting a massive decline in their overall nutritional status. This can be put down to the increase in vegetable and grain consumption and the reduction in meat consumption. Present day, the rates of injury among vegan athletes appear to be significantly higher than their omnivorous counterparts. Many vegan athletes actually return to eating meat after they realise that their performance and recovery had declined, after season-ending injuries, or after their early retirement. Understand that there are about 5 times more ex-vegans and vegetarians in the world than there are current vegans and vegetarians. Have a think about that. Reason number 5. Our brains grew larger when we cooked and ate meat. Understand that when humans discovered that we could use fire to cook meat, our bodies evolved to accommodate. Our intestines decreased in size because roasting increases nutrient availability, our teeth decreased in size because roasted meat becomes much easier to chew, and our skulls increased in size, leading to a larger and more complex brain with a greater number of neuronal connections that improved hunting efficiency. Ultimately, this led to the development of language and higher cognitive abilities compared to that of other animals. The intellectual base of our intelligence would not have evolved the way that it has without cooking meat and consuming animal products. On the other hand, there is a mountain of evidence suggesting that vegans and vegetarians suffer from brain shrinkage. Veganism is untenable and inconsistent with the evolution of our species. I don't buy into the bullshit that vegans say when they tell me they don't like the taste of meat. All humans crave meat. In a study done in 2018 comparing the human physiological response to food, scientists presented pictures of different food items and recorded participants' affective experience as well as peripheral physiology. Vegetarians' self-reported experience of meat meal images was less pleasant than omnivores, but their physiological response to meat meals was strikingly similar to that of omnivores. That is because the human brain has the same craving for meat, whether vegan, vegetarian, omnivore, or carnivore. Why the hell else would vegans make fake meat, but carnivores don't make fake vegetables? But doesn't meat cause heart disease? There is data out there to suggest that animal foods are bad for the heart, but when you really look into the data from studies such as the China study, the data is based off many debunked myths that still pervade the fitness industry today. Myths such as saturated fat is bad for you, when saturated fat is actually the most stable and safe form of fat. And other myths such as lowering your cholesterol is healthy for you, when cholesterol is vital for healthy cells, vital for immunity, and is a precursor to steroid hormones. Understand that your body will actually make cholesterol if you don't consume enough through food. Now, why else would your body make something if it were poisonous and it weren't essential? The China study correlates consumption of animal products with heart disease, but fails to demonstrate causation. They also fail to control for the remainder of the diet, which could have been a significant contributing factor to heart disease. They just didn't consider how other aspects of the diet, in conjunction with meat consumption, could have affected health outcomes. Products commonly consumed with meat that cause other health problems include burger buns, sauces, and marinades. These simple sugars are then combined with protein in the blood, which glycates the protein. An example of this glycation is the oxidation of low-density lipoprotein, which causes atherosclerosis, the genesis of cardiovascular disease. The study also didn't account for the type of meat consumed, how processed the meat was, and what the animal ate, which can all affect the health of the consumer. It also didn't account for how the meat was stored or cooked either. Another way advanced glycation end products are formed is by overcooking or charring meat. This further adds to the health complications from eating meat. The study didn't hold any of these variables constant. If animal products were really killing us, then we wouldn't have survived prehistoric scarce winters where we lived entirely off animal products. The diet disease associations observed during contemporary times are far more meaningful than what might have occurred during evolutionary times and can be put down to the recent explosion of processed sugar and refined seed oils. There are plenty of studies out there that indicate that excessive protein consumption of any sort is bad. This is true, by the way. Excess consumption of anything is bad, but this doesn't mean that animal protein in general is bad. Protein is only bad if it's consumed in excess and is consumed with other foods harmful to the body, such as processed sugar and inflammatory seed oils. It will also cause issues if excessive protein is consumed with other unhealthy practices such as smoking, drinking, or excessive UV exposure. Animal proteins have higher concentrations of the amino acids methionine and leucine. These amino acids stimulate the release of insulin and mTOR, which triggers the release of human growth hormone. Higher concentrations of these amino acids in animal products mean that animal products promote more growth. I've covered the problems of too much growth in episode 75. Essentially, being in a state of perpetual growth induces health problems. For an adult, periods of growth must be balanced out by periods of recycling in order to remain healthy. Humans don't need nearly as much protein as we think, especially if we're getting it from animal sources. 2.2 grams per kilogram of lean mass daily should be your upper limit, slightly more on days where you're exercising. Don't go too far in the other direction and eliminate protein altogether, especially animal protein, where you get the best bang for buck. The takeaway from this episode is to not become a vegan if you want to live to a ripe old age. You need meat to thrive and become the strongest version of yourself. Develop a healthy relationship to animal products. Your entire diet plan should be modelled around consuming most of your daily calories from animal products, like it was for our ancestors. I'll run through the best diet for optimal performance in all realms in an episode coming soon. If you're a vegan who has had a change of heart, you should return to eating meat, but start slow. Your digestive enzymes will not be used to eating meat. Initially, the TMAO levels in your gut will be low, but will build up after a few weeks of meat consumption in order to adapt to the change in diet. This is healthy. The carnitine that meat provides will also have a positive effect to brain function. When cooking your meat, low temperature cooking will minimise the glycation when searing meat in a pan or on a grill. Today's closing thought comes from the Bible, the book of Romans, chapter 14, verse 2. One person believes he may eat anything, while the weak person eats only vegetables. Thanks for watching today's episode. In episode 83, I'll talk about intermittent positive reinforcement. Subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified when it drops. Catch you then.